outstanding news for Sony players. The PlayStation 5 is now going to have variable refresh rate, or VRR. Kind of interesting considering the console is just 2 weeks shy of being out for 1.5 years, as where the Series X and little brother Series S did launch with VRR. Also, we didn't have expandable storage, as the NVMe expansion slot was firmware blocked up until 7 months ago. As with the Series Brothers launch with the Seagate external memory stick, granted it's $220, which is over 2/3 the price of the Series S. As a PlayStation 5 owner, I am very excited that this feature now exists. However, it should have been available baked into the software at launch. Both of the current gen consoles, well technically 4 if you're including both variants of the PS5 and both variants of the Series Brothers, launched half-baked, missing features that should have been available day one, and were certainly lacking in the games department. It was by far the scarcest console launch we've ever seen game-wise. But the PS5 was by far more undercooked, would have given you a salmonella if she was edible, in comparison to the Series X, which had hardly any games at launch. In this video, I'm going to talk about what VRR is and why it is important to consoles, and one more major feature that PlayStation 5 owners have been begging for, but we still don't have yet. Go ahead and pop on my Gamer Advantage blue light glasses here so I don't scorch my corneas. Yeah, add sex appeal. Discount in the description below. Little shameless plug there. The Series S and X launched November 10th. The PlayStation 5 Brothers launched on November 12th. The PS5 did not have expandable storage until September 15th, 7.5 months later, which means as the PS5 has an 825 gigabyte SSD, which is actually 667 gigabytes of usable storage that you can use for games, which, by the way, in 2022, modern titles, especially with DLC packs and expansions, are easily over 100 gigs. And you couldn't even use a USB plug-in external hard drive like one of these bad boys because, well, the USB ports wouldn't recognize it. The NVMe slot was firmware blocked. Expandable storage is a standard feature that should absolutely be ready for launch. VRR, or variable refresh rate. PS5 is just getting it now. Actually, technically, we don't have it just yet, but it's coming. And the next thing that we're waiting for patiently as Sony fans and PlayStation 5 owners is 1440p output. You can select 1080p or 4K in the options menu. That's fine and all if you're using a TV, because generally it's going to be 1080p or 4K. A lot of people are using gaming monitors with these new consoles as they are capable of hitting 120 frames per second, so people are using gaming monitors that are at least 120 hertz to get that high refresh rate, smooth gameplay. And as 1440p is the sweet spot when it comes to PC monitor technology, noticeably crisper and more beautiful than 1080p, yet not the ridiculous monitor prices and the fact you need a very powerful PC or rig to push 4K gaming at a good frame rate, 1440p is still the sweet spot. It's still the best. So a lot of gamers have 1440p monitors for their PCs, and then they also plug their PlayStation in there. But when you plug it into that monitor, it recognizes, oh, this is a 1080p display. It's not 4K. It's neither. It's a 1440p display, but we can't output in that. Another feature that the Series S and X did launch with. I'm not trying to say that the Series S and X is better, but this is just a fact that must be stated. The $500 Series X and the $300 Series S launched with expandable storage, a 1TB Seagate memory stick, which was freakishly expensive, but it was there at launch. The option for 1440p output alongside 1080p and 4K, and VRR, or variable refresh rate, which we're going to cover in just a minute what that is and why it's important. I love both the consoles. Somebody will be like, whoa, what a fanboy. This article came out 3 days ago from PlayStationBlog.com, and this is from the senior VP of the platform experience over there at PlayStation, so it is from a reputable source, an official announcement from Sony. In the coming weeks, the PS5 versions of these titles will receive game patches enabling VRR support. Some of these games would greatly benefit from VRR, such as Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, Destiny 2. So this proclaims that games that have already launched on the PlayStation 5 can get VRR support after the initial launch via patches and updates. One popular game not yet listed on the PS5's VRR support page is Elden Ring. In March, Digital Foundry noted that both the PS5 and Series X struggled to maintain 60 frames per second and recommended that the Series X users take advantage of VRR to smooth out performance drops. What is VRR? Well, it stands for variable refresh rate. It's a key feature to get smooth, artifact-free pictures when gaming, ensuring a clean image for both offline and competitive games. The main job of VRR is to eliminate screen tearing when playing games. Tearing is a kind of visual glitch where the image on your TV shutters mid-frame before carrying on as it was. Screen tearing happens when your TV's refresh rate of its image is out of sync with the rate at which your console or PC delivers frames. You end up with an on-screen image that sees, for example, the top half of a screen 1 frame before the bottom of the screen. This happens because TVs don't refresh their entire screen instantly. The driver of a display rapidly scans down the screen, usually from top to bottom, updating the state of each pixel. It happens too fast for the human eye or brain to notice. Tearing becomes noticeable, for example, when you use a 60 Hz TV and the game's frame rate vacillates between 45 and 60 frames per second. It's particularly obvious in fast motion games like first-person shooters. Turn around quickly in game and the difference in on-screen information can be hugely different from one frame to the next. VRR eliminates this by syncing the refresh rate of your display to that of the console's output. You get no more screen tearing with no performance hit because the console or PC is the pace setter, not the display. Now, VRR is generally associated with HDMI 2.1 and has also become a standard feature of HDMI 2.1 along with eARC for soundbars. Now, I've made this point in the past, you absolutely need to have a TV or monitor that supports HDMI 2.1 if you are going to buy one of these new generation consoles, and do expect to see 120 Hz gameplay and use features like VRR. You can still buy a new console and you'll enjoy things like the new controllers and faster load times with the SSD versus a mechanical hard drive, but you're not going to get 120 frames per second gaming experiences without HDMI 2.1. VRR via an HDMI 2.1 port is an important standardization of the process, because before you'd have to rely on G-Sync and FreeSync, which are proprietary techniques from NVIDIA and AMD, and arrived long before HDMI 2.1. While you do get G-Sync on LG OLED TVs, for example, it's not as widespread across smart TVs as VRR. That is correct, because VRR, much like eARC for soundbars, is now a standard feature of HDMI 2.1 outputs. You can expect that if a TV has an HDMI 2.1 port, it is supporting VRR, unless it is a very, very deceptive listing or the TV manufacturer is blatantly lying on the listing to get it categorized as an HDMI 2.1 TV. So while it is exciting that PlayStation is finally getting VRR, it is so late in the game. We've had the console for a year and a half, not to mention it is only on 15 titles, as with the Series S and X have VRR support on dozens of titles. The biggest feature that I personally was looking forward to and needed was expandable storage, because 667 gigabytes is not a lot. It is great that we are now getting VRR, even though it's being implemented with just a couple of games, or not a couple, a few, I should say. But the gaming community is screaming for 1440p output. Even if that's only 15% of users on the PS5 that want to output in 1440, that is still a massive group of gamers, of consumers, of people that have purchased a $500 console. But it does seem like Sony is handing out these features piecemeal when they get around to it. Peace. If you enjoyed the video, liking it helps it to get seen by more gamers. This information will reach and assist them as well, which in turn helps me grow this little channel, which I do greatly appreciate. Subscribe for more content like this. I cover news in the gaming community and industry, tutorials helping you get set up streaming and YouTubing, as well as honest gaming product reviews, keyboards, mice, headsets, controllers, mics, chairs, etc. There are some hefty exclusive discount codes found only in the description of my videos and only for the audience here at Gamer Heaven. Check out Into the AM for some of the sickest looking and most comfortable cloth to ever grace my gaming giblets. If you don't want to be scorching your corneas with harmful blue light, check out Gamer Advantage, the only blue light glasses on the market that look sexy and actually work. If you're looking for a custom controller that'll blow the competition's tits back, AIM definitively has the best bang for buck or price to performance when it comes to Xbox, PlayStation, and Switch controllers. Nope, they don't do Switch, but they do gaming mice. I said doo-doo. I have links to all my other platforms and socials in the description below. If you need a quick laugh or blast of gamer adrenaline, check my short form videos out at TikTok. To get in touch with myself and the stallions and stallionettes of Gamer Heaven, join the community Discord, and check me out at twitch.tv where I go live every other leap year on a blue moon if it falls into an odd calendar number, and my pH balance is on point. Just kidding, starting June I'm going to be live streaming a lot. Thanks for watching. This has been AK40 Kevin hosting Gamer Heaven, and I'll see you tomorrow because I upload daily, all the time, 60% of the time, sometimes, most of the time. Peace.